right, we have reconvened from closed session, and I'd like to make the following disclosure. By a 5-0 vote, the City Council authorized and directed the City Attorney's Office to defend the cases of Ayala versus the City of Elk Grove, Camelchu versus Miller, and Gasol Kabir versus the City of Elk Grove as identified by the case number listed on the City Council agenda. So with that, I will go ahead and adjourn the special meeting at 6:12 p.m. And we are going to switch over to our regular meeting. I'd like to call to order the Elk Grove City Council regular meeting. Today is Wednesday, October the 12th, 2022. It is 6:12 p.m. Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. This meeting of the Elk Grove City Council will be replayed on Metro Cable Channel 14 on Friday, October 14th at 1 p.m. and Saturday, October 15th at 2 p.m. It is being closed captioned and will be webcast at sacmetrocable.tv. City Council meeting videos are also archived on the city's website at elkgrovecity.org. For members of the participating audience who may have personal electronic devices, please place them on silent mode during the meeting or on mute when you are not speaking. The Elk Grove City Council welcomes, appreciates, and encourages participation in the City Council meeting. City Council requests that you limit your presentation to 3 minutes per person so that all present will have time to participate. City Council reserves the right to reasonably limit the total time for public comment on any particular noticed agenda item as it may deem necessary. Pursuant to Resolution Number 2010-24, no individual speaker concerning public comment may address the City Council for more than 3 minutes. If you wish to address the Council during the meeting, please complete a speaker card. Those are the blue cards, which can be found at the back of the room, and provide them to the Assistant City Clerk prior to consideration of the agenda item.
All right, thank you. At this time, we will have our Pledge of Allegiance. I would like to call forward Daniel Washington, District Director for Assemblymember Cooper. Would you mind leading us in the pledge this evening? You're like, what?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of one United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we will observe a brief moment of silence. Thank you. All right, approval of the agenda. May I get a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, next up, closed session. Clerk?
And there are no closed session items on the regular agenda, which will take us into section 4, our presentations and announcements, starting with item 4.1, which is a recognition of service of Assemblymember Jim Cooper.
All right, I'd like to call forward our Assembly member and our first mayor, Jim Cooper. Proud evening tonight. All right, well, tonight we are recognizing and appreciating the great service of Assemblymember Jim Cooper. Whereas California Assemblymember Jim Cooper has had an eminent career in governance and law enforcement that spans more than 40 years in his role as the chair of the Public Employee Retirement Committee and as member of the Governmental Organization Committee, Insurance Committee, and the Assembly Budget Subcommittees, he has successfully advocated on behalf of Elk Grove and obtained millions of dollars for critically needed local projects. And whereas Jim Cooper was elected to 4 terms on the Elk Grove City Council and served as the city's first mayor, he established solid governing practices, balancing the city's budget, and helped build a city from the ground up. As a council member, law enforcement official, volunteer, coach, and Elk Grove resident, he has made a tremendous impact in the Elk Grove community. And whereas Jim Cooper has earned numerous awards, including the Bronze Star for Bravery, his years spent working as the Sheriff Department's spokesperson and as an undercover narcotics officer and gang detective have helped deter illegal drug trafficking and ensure that Elk Grove residents live in a safe, healthy, and prosperous community. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Elk Grove hereby thanks and celebrates Jim Cooper for his dedicated service to Elk Grove community and his lifetime of service to law enforcement. and extends the utmost appreciation, esteem, and respect to him on the occasion of the transition to his new role as our new Sacramento County Sheriff. Congratulations. Would you like to say something, and then we'll come down and present this to you?
Sure. So thank you. It's interesting. I moved out here in 1989. So what was that, 32 or 33 years ago? I was working for the sheriff's department undercover, doing a lot of drug buys throughout Sacramento. This is the one place I wasn't buying drugs. So true story. So I'd be at the store and I see someone I arrested. So I got to move where I'm not working. So I moved to Elk Grove back in '89. I've been here since then. My daughters have graduated college. They live here. I got a grandson here. So I'm invested in Elk Grove. I'm not going to move. I love Elk Grove. I love what Elk Grove is about. And a lot of respect for you council members. That's a tough job, and you never know how tough it is until you sit in those seats. So a lot of respect for you. You've got a great city staff here that's done wonderful things over the years. Some of you folks I've worked with before, and the citizens here. It's great seeing you guys here. You're engaged in Elk Grove. You want to make Elk Grove the best place. So it's good being out here, because in the legislature you don't see that often, because it's a state and a lot of folks aren't engaged. But local level, you can do so much more, and you can take care of things much more quickly than you can in the legislature. So it's just an honor to be here. Thank you. I'm humbled. This is where I cut my teeth at. I'll always be an Elk Grove person. So I'm not going anywhere, and I look forward to working with the council and Chief Davis. We can get a lot of things done, so I'm excited. So thank you.
Thank you, and we just, this is a great honor for us to recognize you, because we know how hard you work for our city, not only here as a council member, but as our assembly member, and now as our sheriff. And I know your heart is law enforcement, so we are so incredibly proud of you and look forward to partnering with you in your new role. So thank you. We celebrate you today, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, please. Colleagues.
I don't know whether to call you assembly member or sheriff. Sheriff.
Just call me Coop.
I know. Well, or just Jim, Coop, But hey, I just want to be the first one to thank you also for not only what you've done for the community, but for me personally. I'm up here in large part because of you, having the honor to succeed you in your seat. Big shoes to fill, and I thank you so much for believing in me, for being a friend and an ally and a mentor as I try to serve our residents here. You've just been so fantastic knowing you. I mean, it's over 16 years now, so it's just incredible. And I'm so glad to see you continue to do well, and we really look forward to serving with you, as Mayor mentioned, when you become sheriff too. So congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
I'll just add, as the only council member up who actually got to serve with you on this dais, you were integral in the early days of Elk Grove, of establishing a strong foundation. And you really wore your heart on your sleeve when you represented the folks that came to this chambers. And then when you got up to assembly, you fought for Elk Grove, and you brought back money and projects and recognition to Elk Grove. And so you've kind of kept stepping up your game as you step up your office. So we have great expectations of you in this next role. And congratulations for, I think, reaching your life's purpose and passion. So
Thank you.
So, Councilmember Hume mentioned it a bit already, but thinking about it, and get my facts straight here. You were the first mayor of Elk Grove.
Yes.
Correct? And so it's interesting now to see the number of years later, right, how city government has evolved here in Elk Grove. And so I want to thank you for your commitment to that. I want to thank you for your commitment to the state and, of course, the county. I know there are a lot of folks who are looking forward to some great things coming from the sheriff's office in the coming years, and so we're really glad that you're there to take that on. So thank you, Coop.
Great. So I will just add that I'm here because of you too. When you were a council member and I was working in the nonprofit organization, we'd always work together, and it was because of you that pushed me to run for office. You remember that call? You called me one day and said, "You're going to run for this." And I said, "What am I running for? I don't even know what to do." And you know, I owe it all to you, this political career, serving the community in a different way. And then just watching you at the state level, bringing, you know, $4 million to the food bank, $5 million to tackle homelessness here in our city. And we owe it all to you for how great our city is. And so I want to thank you for that. And we look forward to working with you as our new sheriff.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
before you come down, I have something for you. I
Oh.
come bearing gifts.
Ooh, we like gifts. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I want to thank the mayor, the vice mayor, and the council members, and also staff. A special thanks to Crystal Lazard, Kara Redding, and all the city staff for helping organize this event. Back in 2006, we got our first library, I believe, and it outgrew itself. It's moving to a different location, so we got $3 million for you to help expand that library.
That's
So-
amazing. Thank you.
So,
So let's-
libraries are important. Reading's important. Obviously, we're here because of teachers and educators and mayor. You served on the school board, so you know how important that is. And just think of this fact: in the downtown jail, there's about 2,500 inmates downtown. Most of them read at the third grade level, so education's important. And I really want to thank Jared Kelly and Pete Coyle from the Sacramento Library Authority for being involved, being engaged, and libraries are so important, especially during COVID, during these COVID times. And I just can't stress enough how important it is. So anytime we can expand our library, expand education for kids and tools and books, it's an important thing. So thank you all for your help. And Kara's been amazing. I'll tell you, on a number of projects, each year it's like, hey, what's Elk Grove's wish list?
Yes.
What can we get to help Elk Grove and Jason too? But I've worked with Kara directly on that. And I just can't say enough about her. I remember when she first started in Elk Grove, I was here with her. So we go back a long, long way. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And we have friends from the library here.
Yes.
So we'll come down and we'll do that presentation as well as our recognition and appreciation award.
So should we do the check first? So
Let's do the check and then we'll do this. Yeah. A lot of love here.
We'll do the checks.
Yep.
All right. Here we go.
So Peter, you want to come here and then we'll have you on this end? Okay, there we go.
I'll let these guys go first, okay?
Yep, lights.
Okay, ready? Okay,
Thank
one more,
you.
one more, one more.
Okay.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. One more for good measure.
Thank you. All right, come back here. We're still doing this. Oh, yeah. Don't run away here. All right, Vice Mayor, you want to get on this side? Go ahead. Then, okay, all right, here we go.
Meet me first, all right?
And then one more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Congratulations, Sheriff.
Thank you again, Assemblymember. You know, great leaders inspire leadership, and you are a testament to that. So thank you for all that you do, for passing that on for others to lead the way as well. Good luck. Thank you. All right, next up, we have our recognition of the City of Elk Grove Disability Advisory Committee's 16th Annual Above and Beyond Program Accessibility Award. Presented, let's see, we've got, all right, excellent. And our Vice Mayor will be reading the recognition.
I think those items will come up. I think we're going to give the floor to Mr. Bruce Cager right now
Yes.
for you to do the presentation for item 4.2.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. My name is Bruce Cager, and I'm a member on your Disability Advisory Committee. Other members are Ted Clark is the chair, Karen Grossenmeyer is the vice chair, Steve Capps is a member, Ann Hennessy is a member, and our staff liaison is Jim Ramsey. Tonight, I'm here to we're celebrating the 16th Annual Above and Beyond Accessibility Award. The award was created to recognize individuals, organizations, businesses that have gone above and beyond for individuals with disabilities in our community. Okay? The award is important to the Disability Advisory Committee and the city because it recognizes Elk Grove's diverse community. Okay? The nomination applications included questions asked by the individuals that are submitting a package. Has the nominee provided services to Elk Grove residents with disability within the last 12 months? Are services free from discrimination? Does the nominee get paid for the services they provide? What are the services? Why are they needed? What is the benefits or impact on receiving the services by community members? I would like to thank those who submitted a nomination package. All are doing great work. We've decided that we'll be handing out one award. Okay? The recipient of this year's award is A Seat at the Table Bookstore, which for its efforts to educate our community regarding exclusivity for those with disabilities and for providing an inclusive space for those with those disabilities. A Seat at the Table provides a quiet zone for those needing a break from the overstimulation and overwhelming nature of a bookstore. During free events they offer, such as the Story Time or the AAPI Heritage Month, the store's business and sound level is increased. Those with neurodivergent conditions can still attend these events knowing that they're in a safe place to go. There is a safe place to go if needed. A Seat at the Table also collaborates with neurodiverse child authors to sell their books in the store. We want to thank A Seat at the Table not only for welcoming those with disabilities in their store, but for also including and celebrating them as well. We'd like to show A Seat at the Table our gratitude with presenting a plaque. So if I can have the owner, Emily Wreath, to come up so I can present this award to her.
Her beautiful family's here.
And her family members. Okay. An award reads as follows. City of Elk Grove Above and Beyond Accessibility Award, honoring A Seat at the Table for outstanding and dedicated service to improving the quality of life for individuals with disability. Elk Grove, California, October 2022.
Excellent. Well deserved. I will add that A Seat at the Table does an amazing job amplifying the voices of everyone as it relates to diversity and inclusion. You really do an exceptional job. Thank you.
And Emily would like to share some comments.
Thank you so much, Mayor and Council, and everyone here. I recognize so many of you from our store, and it means so much to see that kind of support for the inclusive message that we have for Elk Grove. Specifically related to disability, I often see that that is one of the last groups to be welcomed into otherwise diverse spaces and otherwise inclusive spaces. And we have found that by having a staff that is diverse in all areas, including neurodiversity and other forms of disability, by welcoming 3 different interns in for work experience in a safe environment, by hosting our Disability Month event in July, we have brought so much joy to our community, but we've also grown stronger because we're stronger when everyone has a voice and has a seat. And I do want to invite all of you on Sunday. We're partnering with Best Buddies. Serena is back here. And we're hosting a disability employment awareness event where we'll be talking about the factors that affect disabled people and their employers and that can make it easier to create that inclusive environment for everyone. We'll also have a performer with Down syndrome dancing, we'll have music, and we'll have a panel discussion. So I'd love to see you all there. And thank you so much for celebrating this form of diversity in our city.
Thank you, Emily.
It's good to see you, Emily. Don't go away, Bruce.
Yeah, we've got a few items.
Okay.
So next up is our Disability Advisory Committee annual update.
Okay. Ann Hennessy will be doing that one.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council members. My name is Ann Hennessy. I'm a member of Elk Grove's Disability Advisory Committee, otherwise known as the DAC. I'd like to introduce the other members of the DAC: Ted Clark, Chair; Karen Grissenmeyer, Vice Chair; Steve Capps, Member; Bruce Cager, who you just met, Member; and Jim Ramsey, our Staff Liaison. After holding meetings remotely for the last 2 years, we started meeting again in person in April. Remotely and in person, the committee has had a productive year. As a point of information, the last update to council was provided in October 2021. Over the last year, the committee has hosted city staff providing information on projects, policies, and services, and has provided feedback to city staff on the following: access and functional needs and emergency operations, 2022 to 2027 CIP projects, accessibility components including ramps and sidewalk infill, Laguna Creek Trail multimodal improvements and Elk Grove Creek Trail gap closure, the Clean California Grant, redistricting 2022, maintaining local safety and essential quality of life services. The committee awarded the 15th Annual Above and Beyond Accessibility Award to Jeff Alley for his work with Project Ride, a nonprofit organization that provides therapeutic recreational horseback riding instruction to people with special needs. The committee supported the proclamation of October 15th, 2021, White Cane Safety Day. The committee also supported the proclamation of October 2021 as Disability Awareness Month. In the coming year, the committee would like to continue to provide review and support of accessibility improvements and projects, policies, and services, solicit, review, and award the yearly annual Above and Beyond Awards. The committee would also like to continue to be a resource for the police department and other city departments regarding questions about interacting with those with special needs. The committee would like to thank the council for their continuing support.
All right. Thank you for that update. Excellent. Next up, we have our proclamation declaring October 2022 as Disability Awareness Month, presented by our Vice Mayor, Darren Soon.
Thank you, Mayor. Maybe if I could ask Bruce and Ann to come on back up. Thank you. I want to take this moment on behalf of the council and the city to thank both you and the entire committee for all the work that you do to represent the community with folks with disabilities. Disability in no way diminishes the right of individuals to live independently, enjoy self-determination, make choices, contribute to society, and experience the economic, political, social, cultural and educational mainstream of American society. And whereas family members, friends, and members of the community can play a vital role in enhancing the lives of individuals with disabilities, especially when the family and community are provided the necessary support services and public and private employers are aware of the capabilities of people with disabilities to be engaged in competitive work and inclusive settings. And whereas the goals of this city include providing individuals with disabilities the opportunities and support to make informed choices and decisions, live in homes and communities where they can exercise their full rights and responsibilities as citizens, pursue meaningful and productive lives, contribute to their family, community, state, and nation, and achieve full inclusion in society. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Elk Grove hereby proclaims October 2022 as Disability Awareness Month in the City of Elk Grove and asks the community to join in honoring individuals with disabilities. So thank you all for your work. Appreciate it.
So we have one more that we're presenting to the Disability Advisory Committee, and that is the proclamation declaring October 15th as White Cane Awareness Day. And presenting that will be Councilmember Kevin Spees.
Well, thank you. And appreciate you being here today, and of course, for all the work you've done throughout the years to make the disability community more included in the city of Elk Grove, and to make sure that we're doing the right things. And so I want to read about the White Cane Awareness Day, October 15th, 2022. Whereas the white cane or guide dog demonstrates and symbolizes the ability of individuals to achieve full and independent lives and the capacity to work productively in competitive employment. And whereas the white cane or guide dog allows individuals to move freely and safely from place to place, making it possible for blind and visually impaired individuals to fully participate in and contribute to society. And whereas individuals should be aware that the law requires that motorists and cyclists exercise caution when approaching a person carrying a white cane or being accompanied by a guide dog. And where California law calls upon employers, both public and private, to be aware of and utilize the employment skills of blind workers by recognizing their worth as individuals and their productive capacity. And whereas the Elk Grove community can look forward to a continued expansion of employment opportunities for and greater acceptance of blind persons in the competitive labor market. So therefore, let it be resolved that City Council in the City of Elk Grove hereby proclaims October 15th as White Cane Awareness Day in the City of Elk Grove, and calls upon everyone to offer full opportunities for training to blind persons, to utilize the available skills of competent blind persons, and to recognize the white cane and guide dogs as tools of independence for blind pedestrians on our streets and highways. Thank you.
Congratulations, and thank you for all that you do. So we'll come down with those. We'll have you in the middle. Just if you, so you hold this. And then, yep. You look okay? Yep. Good. All right, here we go.
Now set. Okay, everybody look this way. 1, 2, 3. One more for good measure. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again. Thank you. All right, next up, item 4.6, proclamation recognizing October 9th through 15th, 2022 as Code Enforcement Officers Appreciation Week. And presenting that will be Councilmember Hume.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a proclamation declaring October 9th to 15th as Code Enforcement Officer Appreciation Week. I won't read all the whereases except to point out a couple of important things here that Code enforcement officers provide for the safety, health, and welfare of residents, including the enforcement of local state laws addressing building safety, zoning, housing, environmental protection, and blight. They have challenging and demanding roles in maintaining our high quality of life. and a highly visible role within the city of Elk Grove and interacting with the public, oftentimes at potentially adversarial moments. That's not in the proclamation, that's an aside. But they're highly dedicated, highly qualified, and highly trained professionals. And I just want to say one thing that's important to our residents is that we have a reactive code department. And so when they come out to address something with one of our residents, somebody else has brought them out there. We do not drive around looking at ways that we can jam up our citizenry. And I think that that's something that has to be appreciated, is that what that means is that one of your neighbors or maybe somebody who just had an axe to grind with the world, they drove by and found something, and that's what brought us out there. And so please respect that they're doing their jobs. They are highly competent, highly trained people, and that they are enacting the rules and regulations that we've set forth for public safety, for quality of life, and for the general aesthetics of the community. And so I certainly appreciate the job that they do and how difficult it can be. And thank you for being professionals.
Thank you. Sure. First, thank you for the recognition to the Code Enforcement Division and our officers that work really hard every day to ensure that quality of life in our community. As you know, Code Enforcement's mission is to maintain the highest quality of life within this community, and that's first and foremost. This is accomplished through their hard work and dedication. Although Code Enforcement officers can have a very challenging and thankless job, I'm very proud to lead an amazing group of individuals who are very dedicated to the city and committed to providing the highest level of service to our community. So I'm just really proud of them and want to thank each and every one of them for their hard work every single day to ensure that this community is kept as nice as we keep it. So very proud of that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, and thank you for all that you do.
Yeah.
Sorry. And then he'll give this to you.
One, two, three. One more time. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She's talking about this area.
No, she's talking about this.
All right, next up is our proclamation declaring October 2022 as Manufacturing Awareness and Appreciation Month. Councilmember Nguyen will present that. I'd like to call up Dean Peckham, Executive Director for the Sacramento Valley Manufacturing Alliance, Manuel Berber, President of Mi Rancho, Elk Grove Manufacturer, Ken Harrison, President of GNB Corporation, and Elk Grove Manufacturer.
Great, thank you, Mayor. So I have the privilege to present this proclamation declaring Manufacturing Awareness and Appreciation Month. And I won't read all the whereases, but I do want to note that the first Friday of the month in October is declared as this, and it's to showcase our facilities in an effort to educate the community about manufacturing careers and opportunity. And if you were to ask us, I don't know, 10 years ago or so, manufacturing wasn't something that was a target that we were thinking would be something that we would need, right? And so now I'm watching as manufacturing explodes and how much more we need. And understanding and knowing that here in the city of Elk Grove, we are home to 200 diverse manufacturers, with manufacturing providing over 40,000 jobs in the Sacramento region, but also over 12 million jobs in the nationwide. And I hope all the young folks are listening right now, but the average manufacturing worker in the United States earns over $92,000 annually, including pay and benefits. Manufacturing is a critical industry in the United States, contributing nearly $2.77 trillion in our economy. And for every dollar spent, another 2.68 is added to the economy. And for every manufacturing worker hired, there are another 4 employees hired in a related industry. And what we also want to note is that we have to do our job in increasing the exposure of manufacturing careers within our local areas. This includes students, educators, business owners, medias, politicians, and that this is a much needed bridge that can help with the labor shortage gap that we see happening today. I have the privilege of working with Dean through Asian Resources, through our CMC program. And during the pandemic, I think we were on Zoom calls weekly talking
Zoom
about
calls,
this.
almost definitely.
Weekly
Was
Zoom calls,
slightly
just
stressful.
talking about this here. So when I saw this come up and I had the opportunity to do this, I thought I absolutely want to do this because it was an opportunity for us to talk about how much this is needed in our community, how much we needed to do a better job at educating our community, both young people and adults as well too, how this is a career that can be more than just, right, more than just a career. It's a hands-on thing, and more people I'm finding are loving it and seeing this as a really great opportunity. And so I'll end it as, whereas the City of Elk Grove appreciates all our manufacturers and commends them for their commitment to the betterment of the City of Elk Grove and the greater Sacramento region, and it's signed by all of us on this 12th day of October 2022. And the floor is yours, sir.
All righty. Councilmember Nguyen, Mayor, council members, thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. Thank you for recognizing October's National Manufacturing Month. A little bit of background. SVMA was actually organized 5 years ago by the manufacturers in our region, recognizing there was a real need, a growing need for a qualified and well-trained workforce. And so our efforts have been focused around our partnerships, collaboration with K-12 school districts, the community colleges, building pre-apprenticeship programs, CNC machinist apprenticeship program, and then most recently, we helped launch a regional manufacturing training center just up the street here at Charles A. Jones in South Sacramento with the intent of providing manufacturing career pathways training for adults 18 and older. And as Councilmember Nguyen noted, the partnership with Asian Resources, the Urban League, the California Mobility Center, La Familia, has been one that continues to bear fruit and benefits, and we're really looking forward to continuing that collaboration in the future. As noted, October first Friday is typically Manufacturing Day. We celebrate October as Manufacturing Month, and we try and do so through proclamations like this, but also our manufacturers host tours of their facilities for high school students because we want to inspire the next generation of manufacturing greatness in our region. At this point, I would just like to end by saying thanks to Daryl Doan and to Luis Aguilar for their support. We all recognize that there is an increased need for collaboration between economic development and workforce development in our region to create vibrant, healthy, and resilient communities for all of our residents. Right now, I'd like to turn the floor over to the manufacturers, allow them to say a couple of words. We'll invite Manny Berber up first, and then Kevin McGrew, followed by Ken Harrison. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you. All right, we'll welcome up our next speaker.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor and council members, for having us here. First of all, Stephanie, thank you for recognizing the need for manufacturers. It's really important. My name is Manny Berber, owner of Mi Rancho Tortillas. We're a manufacturer of corn and flour tortillas and tortilla chips. Our roots begin in Oakland, California, back in 1939. So over 80 years of business, fourth generations, my son's here, to continue the business as we go forward. I'd like to thank the city of Elk Grove for recognizing Mi Rancho here as a manufacturer here. We're actually very new to Elk Grove. We've been here about 4 years or so, but really entrenching ourselves currently right now. The reason we picked Elk Grove to come here, we recognize their commitment to the manufacturers, and we felt that that was really, really important to us. But most of all, I think they really care about the success of the businesses to continue working here. Along with all these challenges we're all having based because of COVID and all the issues we're having for employees and so forth like that, we are also committed to growing this business as well. Our plans and growth for expansion, we currently employ about 200 people, and our plans going forward is to employ over 300 people in the city of Elk Grove. So we're very happy to be here, and we want to thank you guys very, very much. And Daryl and Luis, they told me not to mention their names, but since Ken did, I get to mention it too, that I'm always bending their ear for their support, and they've come through for us. So thank you so much for recognizing us. Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations.
Hello. First of all, I would like to thank Councilmember Nguyen for your kind words and support for manufacturing, Mayor, Council, and Elk Grove citizens. My name is Kevin McGrew, and I'm the Director of Quality Management at Siemens Mobility, Inc. Rolling Stock. We build high-tech rail-bound passenger transit vehicles, and business is booming. We're building a car a day and have a revenue of $1 billion, that's B, $1 billion a year on our 62-acre facility. We're 7 miles from here, and full disclosure, our address doesn't include Elk Grove. But we are Elk Grove, with nearly 300 of our employees actually living in Elk Grove. Those are your neighbors and citizens, assemblers, production line workers, engineers. Our plant manager lives in Elk Grove. And I'd also like to mention D. He's one of our welders. He's confined to a wheelchair, but we proudly include him in our welding team as a welder. People come by and say, wow, why is that workbench set low? That's because D, we've accommodated D and his capabilities. He's an excellent welder. He's simply confined to a wheelchair. I'd also like to mention that Siemens is not only focusing on current workforce development, but we're also giving back to local schools, including Florin High and Laguna Creek, who have career technical education programs that we're supporting, hopefully enticing young people to join the careers that we're talking about. So thank you so much.
Excellent. Hello.
Hello, Mayor and council members.
Oh, that's all right. You're not the first one who's done that.
Manufacture a new
Happens all
one.
the time.
We'll get that going.
We'll manufacture a new one.
One of the questions is why manufacturing? I mean, it's dirty, it's smelly. Who wants manufacturing in your neighborhood, right? Well, it's also delicious because we can eat their tortillas. But no, it's really not like that. Manufacturing is really important because look around you. Everything here in this room was manufactured by somebody. It's important to our lives. It makes our lives convenient. It makes our lives better. Here at G&B, and I'm the CEO of G&B, and we make vacuum equipment. Vacuum sweepers? No, airless environments. So if you have a space satellite and you need to test it in an airless environment, you come to us and we'll help you with that. Have you been seeing on the news the James Webb Space Satellite? We helped with that. We provided the equipment that helped with that. We have helped provide equipment that have helped Nobel Prize winners. We built equipment that's for brain cancer treatment. We make a difference. We've done so much in the research in the national labs. The things that you see around here were not developed by accident. It was because somebody did it. And we're making lives better for so many different people. And so that is what manufacturing is really all about. Yes, we provide great jobs, talented people, engineers, managers, and so forth. The reason for manufacturing, you wrote it on the walls, a heritage, vibrant community, a city that serves. I mean, this is what we do. We hire, and we're hiring, as many people as we can right now, because part of what we do is in the semiconductor industry, and semiconductor chips are short. And with the impacts that we make are all over the world. A couple months back, Elon Musk called me and said, hey, we've got this project. We're going to Mars. You're helping us do that. This is important to me, right? And it's done right here in Elk Grove. And it's part of our proud heritage as this city and what we're doing. So yes, there's economic benefits, but we're also hiring people, and we're bringing in people that are great citizens, they're great friends, they're great families and community members. They're helping to build the community. So thank you for this recognition. It's important to us. Elk Grove has not always been a city that has been manufacturing friendly, but you're making a difference, and we appreciate that so much.
Congratulations and
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing.
And please come visit us sometime.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
Come see what we do.
We're going to come down and present this to all of you, so please come back.
While Jason is fixing the microphone there, I'll just say that, during the COVID, we learned the term supply chain. And other than maybe miners and farmers, without manufacturers, there is no supply chain.
Yeah.
And so it is critically important what you guys are doing. I've toured the Mi Rancho facility. I've not toured GMB, but I'm excited to. So let me know when Elon's coming out, and I'll swing by and say hello. But I've also toured Siemens, and if any of you ever have an opportunity to go tour that, it is fascinating to see those massive machines being assembled. So thank you so much.
Love to have you out. We'll organize something.
Please do so.
Please.
That sounds great. Congratulations and thank you again, all of you. Continued
If I
success.
could, Madam Mayor, one
Please.
quick last thing. It's no doubt that California is a tough business environment. There are other states that are absolutely kicking our tail in manufacturing. I am really glad to have you in the local area. We certainly want more. Thank you very much to Daryl and Luis. We want more, so please tell your friends that Elk Grove is manufacturer friendly. We'd like to have more, please. So thank you very much. I appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. Have a great evening. All right, we are going to transition over to now our public comment. And I'm going to open up the public comment opportunity. We have several signed up. Can we close that door? All right, first up is Linda Parr Macaluso. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. Linda? Okay, hi. And for all of the speakers that are signed up, please note that there's a 3-minute time limit. Thank you.
So good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. My name is Linda Parr Macaluso. I'm here on behalf of Zeus. I am respectfully requesting other human options for Zeus other than euthanization or keeping him in a cage with limited human interaction. I believe Zeus's owner made all necessary changes to keep her safe. When animal control showed up unannounced on July 15th, Ms. Kubir was distraught, emotional, as seen in the video. The animal control officer provided a leash and requested Ms. Kubir use it to take Zeus out to the animal control office vehicle. She complied so she could get her dog back. The animal control officer knew that Zeus was required to be on a much shorter leash, possibly a choker collar of sorts, but above all, required to be wearing a muzzle before allowing him out of the home and in the public. Zeus should have never been seized, taken by animal control. He was scared, confused, and didn't know what was going on. There was strange smells coming from the vehicle, police officers with guns and batons standing in front of him, his owner behind him, clearly devastated. He lunged at the officer, ripping his pants and grazing his legs with his tooth. Had the police officer felt his life was in danger, he would have shot Zeus. It was fortunate the officer was trained for these kinds of situations. The animal control officer didn't have control of the situation. Her negligence is caused Zeus to be in the situation. There is an animal rescue that is willing to retrain Zeus and keep him for 3 months. There is a sanctuary ready to take Zeus. There are all kinds of options to allow this dog to live a happy, healthy life. We are able to rehabilitate murderers, rapists, and thugs. Certainly, we should be able to rehabilitate this dog. My children and grandchildren have had worse boo-boos playing sports and falling off of bikes. These were minor injuries that will scab and heal. Please don't take this dog's life. I am extremely sad to find out that Miss Kabir is so devastated the police and hospital staff find that she could harm herself. Zeus is her emotional support dog. We have a responsibility to do the right thing and save 2 lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Paula Schleikelman.
Good evening, Mayor Singh and Vice Mayor and the council members. My name is Paula, and I've lived in Elk Grove since 1991. I raised my family here. I have started trapping 7+ years ago when we saw many cats at the Vineyard Automotive on Waterman Road. 40+ cats. While there was a feeder that was feeding there, no one was trying to manage the cat colony. Realizing that feeding was only part of the problem, I began trapping and taking the cats to Bradshaw for spay, neuter, and vaccination. That was the only shelter open at the time. Thankfully, the Elk Grove Animal Shelter opened in 2019. What a blessing that was. This colony on Waterman is down to about 15 cats at the moment. Despite the dumping of kittens and cats there, feral cats do not have a long life. Many disappear, many are hit and killed on Waterman Road. It's a very busy road. I have since taken on several other colonies around Elk Grove, feeding and trapping to keep the cat population to a minimum. A 50+ cat colony at a pallet yard to the right of the trucking business where I have been feeding for the past years. There are many starving kittens and adult cats. Over 80% of the cats are female, with the possibility of getting pregnant. Without the support of you, the council, and the return of TNR, trap, neuter, release days on Monday at the Elk Grove Animal Shelter, the current day being only Thursdays, which they allow up to only 10 cats for neutering and spaying. In order to ensure a spot in line, I have to wait in line at 4 a.m. to make sure I have a spot. What can you do to help us with this issue? What about the option of a mobile clinic? Some cats are turned away each week if the number is greater than 10. It takes many hours to trap these cats, and to release them before getting fixed is counterproductive. There was a large area at the animal shelter that used to house cats during COVID for people to view. Could this be a holding area for these extra cats? Maybe some of us trappers who are well-versed in feral behavior could assist in their care. Remember, we are working around the Elk Grove community already for free. We love the Elk Grove Animal Shelter and staff, but Elk Grove is growing so fast, and the shelter should be growing with it as people bring more cats into the community and to an already large population of felines that are often dumped or left behind as people move in and out of the area. I see Elk Grove being a model of community cats as they are taken care of with spay, neuter, and vaccinations. You have the trapping staff right here behind me. Can I ask the council what happens to dollars that are not used for a budget allocation? Is there a way to transfer resources to where we see a greater need, such as the TNR program at the Elk Grove Animal Shelter? Can that be used to a vet? Do I need to
Thank
stop?
you,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
If you can leave your information with someone over there,
Actually,
either the
what-
city manager, so we can follow up with you.
Sure.
On that. Thank you. Next up is Diane Schramm-Agnolo. You got some challenging names this evening. Thank you. Diane Schramm, are you here? Yes.
Good evening. My name is Diane Schramm-Agnello. I'm a volunteer trapper in the very successful Elk Grove Animal Shelter's Trap, Neuter, and Return program. We have had great results in keeping the community cat population in control. I have been a volunteer for more than 3 years and have participated in the trapping, spaying, neutering, and releasing of more than 100 community cats. I answer calls from many members of our community to help trap stray, feral, and homeless cats. Our efforts have resulted in reducing these populations and vaccinating the cats that were returned to the community. In addition to releasing the cats back into the community, I have rescued and fostered many trapped cats back to health and provided them with a safe and loving environment to get them acclimated to the adoptive environment. A lot of my community cats have been adopted by our local neighbors. There are many other members of our community that love doing what we do. I enjoy the community effort that has resulted in a safer environment for the community cats, a more healthy population, and a more controlled population. I applaud the wonderful staff at Elk Grove Animal Shelter. They're truly caring individuals that have met their calling and execute their tasks personally. However, there is much more that can be done to make the program more successful by adding another veterinarian, several vet techs to the shelter's current staff will help accommodate the spay neuter of more community cats. Some of us trappers are currently camping out till at 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning just to get in line for the 10 positions available for the spay and neutering surgeries on Thursday. If we cannot get one of those 10 spots, we are likely to take our trapped cats to other facilities out of the area. Those other facilities are quite accommodating, but the responsibility is to Elk Grove to service the needs of our community, not push it off to another community facility. It is unfair to the Sacramento community to have spay neutering spots taken by Elk Grove trappers. I am, and we are asking, as a group of dedicated volunteers, that the city of Elk Grove to expand the current staff at the Elk Grove Animal Shelter to accommodate another day during the week, one day on the weekend. We need more spay neutering spots during the week at our Elk Grove shelter. We need an extra day on the weekends because many of our volunteers have jobs and during the week and are unable to deliver the cats to the shelter before they go to work. The city of Elk Grove Animal Shelter is a valuable community asset. Let's provide it the resources so it can do more good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Next up is Kathy Mendoza.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kathy. Before I begin, I'd like to thank everyone at the Elk Grove Animal Shelter for everything they are doing for the animals. I am not speaking on behalf of the shelter, but as an individual. My cat trapping journey began with 6 feral cats. For those unfamiliar, TNR is the route most trappers have to take when finding unfixed older kittens and adult cats, both friendly and feral. We trap, help get them fixed, vaccinate them, and get them returned to the place they consider home. I can almost guarantee you that every one of you has a cat colony in your neighborhood. In order to help our city's community cats, we decided to extend our help to other neighborhoods with unfixed cats. Between my sister and I, we have trapped over 50 cats in Elk Grove and the Sacramento area. Elk Grove Animal Shelter's TNR program is vital for trappers like ourselves. If we can trap and spay a female cat before she becomes pregnant, then we can avoid aborting her kittens during surgery. The Monday closure has affected us all in many ways. As I'm sure you're all aware, the program only accepts 10 cats on Thursdays now. If you visit any of the feral cat colonies we are working on, you would see that the 10 spots are not enough. In recent months, many of us are arriving as early as 3 a.m. 5 hours later, by 8 a.m., when the shelter opens, there are more than 10 cats in line ready to be fixed. You might ask, well, what happens to the cats that are turned away? Some will line up the following day at 3 a.m. at the SPCA. Others come back again in 7 days. And unfortunately, some of those are released back into the community without being spayed or neutered. The problem with the last one is that you now have a cat that knows what happens when they go into a trap, and they're going to learn to avoid it. This makes it harder to trap again. This situation could be improved for everyone, including the amazing overworked Dr. Stice and her wonderful staff at the shelter who have continued to do their best under the circumstances. Between January 1st through September 30th, 985 cats were brought into the shelter. In addition, another 404 cats were brought in for TNR services. The 2020 census shows that the population of our city was 173,370, and approximately 28,895 feral cats in Elk Grove. The population of our city continues to grow, yet our services for our city's community cats has not. If our city's shelter had more staff, we could help TNR the adult cats before they give birth to the hundreds of kittens that are being brought to the shelter, or born in parking lots, creeks, and backyards. So we are here tonight to ask you to hire more vet staff to reopen Monday's TNR program and even expand the TNR program to allow for a greater number of cats to be fixed. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, I don't have a last name, it's just Stacy.
Hello, Council. I'm
Hello.
Stacy Peterson. I work in the prison, so I'm used to taking my name off of the back. As you guys have known, everyone's told you about all the cat problems. We're here to ask you guys for help. Sorry, I get nervous in talking. Why would a person want to trap cats? Sit in a car for hours. We've all seen the typical cat ladies, gray hair, bathrobes, hairnets. I've now become one of those, and I'm a dog person, so I started.
Why do you like to trap cats?
Yes, I trapped inmates, and now I'm doing cats. So I ended up helping one neighbor with a cat and 6 kittens. He's allergic to cats. I got out there, got a carrier, didn't know what I was doing. I started shoving cats as quick as I could, closed the doors, took the cats to the shelter. They're like, would you like a trap? What's that? So this was just in, I think, 2019, shortly after the shelter opened. I've trapped 150 cats, minimal. Since then, I now try to educate all the citizens and trappers on how to do stuff. So the best way to fix a problem is to ask the people doing the issues, all the employees and everything, what issues are they having? How can you fix it? We're here to address you guys because we're the ones trapping. We need your guys' help in these areas. We need the more staff. Budget only gives us 1 vet. I've been asking for 1.5 years. They're not cleared to hire another vet. If you guys approve a second vet, some more vet techs, that would increase the staff, which would increase our ability to bring in more cats. The reduction of the number of cats per week is traumatizing. As we all know, stress of COVID, finances, exhaustion, mental health is affecting us too, let alone all the shelter staff. All the shelters are quitting, losing their employees, and they're short. We understand that. But anything you guys can help would be much appreciated. And I think that was everything I got. Bigger facility, if you have the money for that, that would help. Anywhere we can store the cats that are left over. We've been taking them home, putting them in our laundry rooms, our bedrooms, our sunrooms, garages, because the shelter can't put them in their room on the floor. If you have another room with some staff, they can supervise the cats and help us as well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
God bless.
Next up is Kimberly Mendoza.
Hello. I would first like to acknowledge the dedicated animal care staff at the shelter, all the shelter volunteers, and foster families at the Elk Grove Animal Shelter. It takes a village to care for the city's animals. I know there are many valued volunteers that keep the shelter running smoothly. Last month's statistics revealed 134 volunteers donated 1,022 hours. I'm here to speak about a need for appropriate number of staff at the animal shelter for Elk Grove community cats. Community cats are just about everywhere. You might have seen community cats in your own neighborhood. If you see cats with one of their ears cut across horizontally, this indicates that the cat has been vaccinated and spayed or neutered. As you may all know, the Elk Grove Animal Shelter has experienced staff shortages that had serious consequences for the trap, neuter, returned volunteer community. Currently, Monday TNR services are canceled until staff issues are resolved. The shelter can only accept 10 cats once a week, with a maximum of 2 cats per person. Many trappers here are trapping colonies of 10 cats and more. The number of possible surgeries in a month started at 60 and dropped to just 40. It is not enough. The animal shelter desperately needs to fill positions to reopen Monday TNR, as it will soon reach 2 months since it has been canceled. The Animal Service Bureau is lacking essential positions with only 1 vet and a handful of vet techs. I am asking you all to consider adding more positions at Animal Services Bureau within the police department. If Measure E is approved, I would like to see more animal service officers hired that can handle off-leash dogs that are a danger to our cat colonies, and possibly trap cats on behalf of those unable to. An additional vet hired to offer weekend services, at least 2 vet techs among more jobs needed. I invite you all to join us for a ride-along to see what trapping entails and the need for more options for spay and neuter. I want to assure you there is a strong need to reopen Monday TNR and even increase the number of surgeries for TNR. Animal care services should be expanded as the city continues to grow. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is James McCarthy.
I didn't realize we had so many cat catchers in our city. I like your shirt, so can I have one?
Yes. Mayor, council members, thank you for allowing us to address some of these issues. I think I'm batting cleanup, so I'll just try to be as brief as possible. I'm the spouse of a trapper, and what that means is a lot of sacrificed evenings, events cut short because she has to go out and trap that night in order to be able to bring a cat into the shelter for the TNR days. And the 33% cut in TNR services at the Elk Grove shelter have had a significant effect on the ability to catch these cats and to keep the feral cat in the area population, keep it down. So mainly what we're trying to petition you to address is that we need another veterinarian at the shelter, and we need at least 2 more vet techs. And that's all well and good, but how much is that going to cost? Well, the BLS, they have the average survey or salary for a veterinarian at a little over $100,000 a year, and vet techs are about $50,000 a year. On top of that, you would have to be looking at as well benefits and other necessary things, additional supplies. So you're looking at, possibly another $400,000 a year to be budgeted to the shelter in order to help provide these additional services that we've already demonstrated a need for. My wife was the first speaker, and she's been trapping for over 7 years. There's probably over 250 cats that she has trapped and taken to various facilities for trap, neuter, and return. In addition to those cats that have been returned, but there has been a significant portion of kittens that she has caught early enough that we have been able to get into the adoption programs. And for those that are ferals that are fairly friendly, not entirely against human contact, they've also been placed as barn cats in the outlying areas. So we're trying to manage the situation. We have very dedicated and passionate people that are working to this, and we're just asking for a little bit of assistance in order to continue the work. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mayor, just real quick. Mr. McCarthy,
Yes, sir.
as a family who owns a feral cat that was once a kitten, we recognize the value of your work. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, as Bobby, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
To our TNR volunteers, we do appreciate you very much and the efforts that you do to help our animal shelter, find these cats, get them to us so that we can get them back into our communities, neutered in and taken care of. We will get some information from you today, Paul, our Assistant Chief of Police in the back, and we'll get some information and we'll work with you to see what we can do to help you and your efforts and ours when it comes to resolving this issue. So thank you for coming in.
It's truly been educational, so thank you. Our final speaker is Elizabeth Fong.
Well, it's going to be short because they said everything that was on my agenda. So I'm Elizabeth Fong. Nice to meet all of you. I've been an Elk Grove resident for 21 years and very proud and love my community. I'm the new kid on the block. They've been trapping for years, so I'm under their wings. I manage a colony not far from my neighborhood. Again, it takes, like they said, and I'll reiterate, a lot of work. You're there every day. You're feeding these cats, you're trapping, you're managing so that you don't have 500 cats running down a creek. I have probably 12 at mine. So we do trap, we get them fixed. That's the whole goal. What we're all here for tonight is, you've heard every speaker, we need more assistance from the city of Elk Grove. We need help. We need, if I could do it and snap my fingers and magic, I would open up a 24/7 spay and neuter clinic. That would be ideal, just to be able to manage the amount of kittens and cats that need that service. I look at the spay and neuter clinic on Bradshaw. It's amazing. The hardship for us, you trap, you spend a lot of time sitting there, baiting them, and then the 10 max cats are there the next day, and you have to either put them in your garage, your house. They're feral cats. They don't like being in a cage, right? It's not good for them. It's very traumatic. So a lot of them have to be released and recaught. And so, us providing the services to help our community to do our due diligence and control the population, we're just asking for some help from you, our leaders. And it would be very much appreciated. The only other thing on my agenda that I'd like to address and share is that I did have a really bad experience with the city of Elk Grove. I was away on vacation and I had somebody managing my colony, and I believe from what I hear, a neighbor complained because she saw a cat kill a bird. So she reported it to the city of Elk Grove. The operations manager sent somebody out there that had fully my contact information to work with me and contact me to get the cats removed prior to taking in bulldozers and heavy equipment and demolishing the colony. That could have been prevented. So my cats are still traumatized. This happened a few months ago. I'm still traumatized about it. When, the city, I'm looking for a partnership with you guys. If there's a problem, come to me, come to us. We want to help, alleviate anything that we can. But that was very traumatizing, more for the cats than me, because some of them have not come back. And so I just really wanted to emphasize that you have our contact numbers, work with us. We can remove the cats if the trees needed to be trimmed. Before heavy equipment got in there, I would have removed the cats. And so, you know, again, we're here for your support, for your help, your guidance. And I think that along with my colleagues here, we definitely need more vet technicians and veterinarians. Thank you. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
evening.
And just so, for protocol purposes, because you were pretty much all, you know, speaking to the same subject matter, during public comment, it's a non-agendized item, so we won't deliberate on this. This is the opportunity for you to share with us. So we're not, you know, I can't offer you anything else at this time, but we do have your information, and I will be asking for questions a little bit later regarding this issue, so thank you. Thank you. And the chief. Yeah, you have all of it, yeah, very good. All right, so with that, we are going on to our next item, which is our general administration information report from our city manager.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the City Council, Jason Behrman, City Manager. Pleased to report that the city had a very successful second donation drive this past weekend. Nearly 70 individuals and families dropped off donations. The event collected approximately 1,400 pounds of shelf-stable food, 40 packages of adult and child diapers, 6+ cases of sanitizing wipes, 8 sleeping bags, 9 large bags of dog food and other pet food treats, and countless socks, gloves, handmade scarves, etc. Donations will directly benefit Elk Grove residents through a variety of nonprofits, including Elk Grove Food Bank, Heart, and other important organizations. Please join me in thanking our staff and members of the community for participating in that food drive. Elk Grove Police Department is recognizing Breast Cancer Awareness Month in a special way this year. Their specially marked pink patrol vehicle, maybe you've seen it driving around town, is appearing at several local events. Breast cancer survivor warriors are invited to sign the hood at these upcoming events on October 13th, Neighborhood Market at District 56, and October 28th at Trunk or Treat at Old Town Plaza. Some weekend repairs. Minor repairs will require closure of the roundabout at Sheldon and Bradshaw Roads for the next 2 Saturdays, October 15th and the 22nd, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Crews will be performing grinding, microsurfacing, and installing new delineators and markings. The intersections will be closed to allow time for the materials to dry. Motorists should use Bond, Waterman, Calvine, or Beta Roads as alternate routes. For questions, please contact Juan Zuniga in the Public Works Department. We still have free organic waste containers. Countertop pails are available at the Special Waste Collection Center, 9255 Disposal Lane, this Saturday, October 15th, the drive-through event from 9 a.m. to noon. While supplies last, the kitchen pails are funded by a Cal Recycle grant, and supplies are limited, and they're limited to 1 pail per household. City staff will be sharing information with the community regarding the draft Laguna Creek Trail Master Plan this Saturday, October 15th, in North Laguna Creek Park at the South Sac Festival from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Stop by their booth to learn more and provide your feedback. The city is a partner agency with several organizations that make up the South American Sub-Basin Groundwater Sustainability Agencies. This group will host a workshop on Thursday, October 27th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Barn Cafe, which is located at 8976 Grant Line Road in Elk Grove, to share how local planning and management impacts the groundwater supply and how groundwater conditions affect local wells. This is important information for our residents in the rural area in particular. For more information, visit the website sasbgroundwater.org. And finally, the Police Department and the Recycling and Waste Division will team up once again for a National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day drop-off event on Saturday, October 29th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Police Department. Right here, this one-day event provides an opportunity for residents to dispose of unwanted and unused prescription drugs free of charge. Some restrictions do apply. Visit the city's website for details. That concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions that the council might have.
Thank you. So I don't have questions regarding what you just reported, but I would like to get an update or report on some of the comments that we heard regarding the cats and the trapping, and just to get a better idea of what we're looking at, a needs assessment, you know. So if we can
Absolutely.
get that.
We can report back.
That would be helpful. Thank you. And I do have one other this came up from a few parents. As we have, because you mentioned the road closures, if we could share that with the school districts, so that schools that are impacted by those road closures, they could share it out in their distribution network as well, because they may not be coming to our city.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
Thank you. Any other questions from colleagues?
I do.
Yes, Kevin.
Thank you very much for the update on the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I know that we've had a couple of requests on updates for that, and so thank you. But another one, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know exactly which way it is also Domestic Violence Prevention Month. And I know that throughout the year we do a number of things. And if you could provide us a quick update on what, not just what we're doing this month, but what we're doing in terms of trying to curb domestic violence, because we know, unfortunately, that domestic violence is often the nexus for a lot of the crimes that are committed here in Elk Grove. So.
Yes, sir. We have been very fortunate to just re-up. We have a new 3-year contract with WEAVE, Women Escaping a Violent Environment. We have been also fortunate enough that we also donate to Chicks in Crisis in our city. In addition to that, we've in the last 6 months added 6 detectives to our detective bureau, which will significantly provide us an opportunity to help find resolution for victims of domestic violence. You know, if you consider the last year, our aggravated assaults went up during COVID, which isn't a secret to anybody. But in addition to that, most of it was domestic violence. And so we've made significant efforts to try to address that within our community, try to provide wraparound services to victims of that so that we can help them, not just move through it, but try to prevent it as well. So we have been, in the last several years, trying to address those concerns in our community. Again, I think our partnerships with the community advocacy groups have strengthened our ability to provide those wraparound services to the victims of domestic violence in our community.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
All right, I don't see any other questions, so we thank you again for your report. We will move on to our next item, which is our consent calendar. I'd like to open up the public comment opportunity. I don't see anyone signed up, so I'll close the public comment opportunity. Any questions? If not, I'll look for a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Next up is our public hearing, item 8.1. A public hearing to consider a resolution amending the general plan. And welcome, thank you.
Thank you. I am not Christopher Jordan, but he is not available tonight, so I will be presenting for him. Okay, I am Carrie Whitlock, Strategic Planning and Innovation Program Manager for the city. So the proposed action this evening includes 3 amendments to the safety element of the general plan. You've seen 2 of these items. They were brought to council last calendar year, but they did not get consolidated into final council action, which is why we are bringing them back again this evening. The 3rd item is the local hazard mitigation plan, and that will be most of the focus for tonight because that's the one new item we have, but I will briefly highlight the other 2 as a refresher. So the first series of amendments deal with emergency access. State law requires we do an analysis of subdivisions that have limitations to their access in the event of an emergency. We're required to map these out, which you can see here and which is included in the documentation that you have. In the discussions we had last year as part of this, we identified adding a new policy, SAF 1.6, requiring adequate emergency access for new development projects. The second revision is around evacuation route planning. You may recall seeing a new technical appendix to the general plan, which identifies for 3 different scenarios the emergency access routing and planning that may be necessary to address neighborhoods or areas of the community under these scenarios. These 3 scenarios that were reviewed included an explosion at the suburban propane facility, a theoretical train derailment in Old Town or along that rail line, and a major flooding event in West Elk Grove, principally affecting the Laguna West area. The final amendments are around the local hazard mitigation plan. This is a state and federally required document that recognizes potential natural hazards and considers mitigation measures to reduce risks. Examples of this may include flooding, extreme heat events, wildfire, pandemics, et cetera. So these plans are required to be updated on a regular basis. The 2021-22 was the most recent update cycle for Sacramento County that included the city of Elk Grove. The way this works, the county takes the lead on the actual document itself, and then local jurisdictions and special districts are involved in that and have specific annexes for each one. The council reviewed this document and adopted it back in February of this year. State law requires that the local hazard mitigation plan then be reflected and adopted by reference into the city's general plan. That is the action that we are asking for this evening. Modifying language that was previously included in the 2019 adoption of the general plan, which references the 2017 local hazard mitigation plan, and updating that so it's the 2021 version. So there's some text changes to that effect. There's text changes in the implementation chapter 10, which updates language for the next cycle of the local hazard mitigation plan, which will be coming in another several years. So the actions before you are exempt from further environmental review for the reasons that are described in the staff report and the resolution pursuant to sections 15183 and 15162 of the CEQA guidelines. So that concludes my presentation. Staff recommends that you find no further environmental review is required and adopt the amendments to the safety element of the general plan. And with that, I am available for questions.
All right, thank you for that safety element update. At this time, I will declare the public hearing open and open up the public comment opportunity. I do not see anybody signed up to speak, so I will close the public comment opportunity and declare the public hearing is now closed. Any questions for Ms. Whitlock? Otherwise, I'll look for a motion.
Mayor, I have a question,
Yes,
actually.
please.
Carrie, quick question, and thank you for your presentation. I was just wondering, in addition to the document, and maybe it could be pointed to the chief, but do you tabletop exercise these scenarios that we're contemplating for the safety element? I didn't mean to stump you. I just.
So there are some tabletop exercises for different scenario planning. I don't know if we specifically did one or the other of these, but there are definitely the Emergency Action Committee does do scenario planning.
Okay, yeah, good to know. Thank you.
All right, I'll look for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All right. Next up, the regular agenda action items.
And there are none on the agenda for this evening, which will advance us to section 10, council comments, reports, and future agenda items.
All right, any reports from Councilmember Nguyen?
Nothing to report, ma'am.
Councilmember Spies?
I do have two things, please. The first one is several times throughout the year, each year, there are trains that become disabled on the Union Pacific Railroad, and it affects the railroad intersections on Sheldon, Elk Grove, Florin, Bond, and Elk Grove Boulevard. Sometimes there's, malfunctions of the arms, and sometimes it's a train that's stopped. Sometimes it's because it's disabled. Sometimes because there's traffic, whatever. Unfortunately, that can create long backups. Mm-hmm. And those long backups have the ability to, or the potential, I should say, to restrict emergency vehicles coming from the east area to hospital or emergency facilities in South Sacramento. Now, it doesn't happen frequently enough where it would seem like it would be an issue, but it can be an issue, right? So What I'd like to ask, three things. First is if we could invite Union Pacific Railroad to come and have a conversation with us and help us to understand, what these challenges are, and if there's any way that we can seek resolution on those. The second one is, can we ask our partners at CSD if they would be willing to come and have a conversation with us relative to how they mitigate that issue or how they go around that issue? I mean, I can think of only one way that they do, but I'm not that guy in charge, so I don't know how that's done. And then the third thing is, as we look to improve our public safety, I think it'll take a partnership with UPRR and CSD to perhaps have sensors on the railroad tracks or on those on the arms when we can determine that a train has become disabled or has stopped for some reason, or the arms are malfunctioning. And if we did that, we could have integration with our real-time information center, and then we could inform our CSD partners that a hazard exists. It's difficult to find. I mean, we can. It's technically possible to create a some sort of bypass, but it's, from what I understand, and I'm not getting into it today, it's not a low cost effort to divert that traffic in some sort of over or underpass. But I think with technology, it's possible that we can help to mitigate that. So if I could, please, hopefully all of my colleagues would join in asking if we could have some sort of conversation surrounding that.
Sure. I mean, I would be interested, of course, and I know some folks at Union Pacific in leadership, so if any of the executives, if city staff don't know them, I certainly can connect you. And I think we can put this as part of our 2x2 discussion with CSD, would be a natural place for it. We just had our natural disaster planning for derailment. Not that this is, in that same realm, but for emergency services, of course, you still want to be prepared.
Sure.
It could potentially save a life, so.
Right. And I've had a number of people ask me relative to what happens. What are they going to do? How are they going to get around? Well, I mean, again, I'm no expert, but I don't see too many opportunities other than going down to Grant Line, which increases, response time. Yeah. But thank you. So the second thing that I have is today, Vice Mayor Soon and I attended a funeral here in Elk Grove for easily one of the most fantastic ladies that I know here in Elk Grove. And if I cry, so be it. But Elaine Wright, that was a part of our community for many years. She was frequently seen at doggone any event that I can remember. I mean, I don't remember going to an event and not seeing her. Mm-hmm. She was also a director of, I think at the time it was actually the Elk Grove CSD, or Elk Grove Community Services, as opposed to the Casumnes Community Services, but she was a board director there as well. So what I would ask, Madam Mayor, is if tonight we can close in honor of
course,
of Elaine.
Thank you, and I have that on my notes as well to have done that. I'll go over to Councilmember Hume for any report.
Well, I mean, not to poke fun, but I looked right at you at the services, so I apparently wasn't noticed by you.
I can't see that far down tonight. It was,
Look, I'll do my report real quick, and then I'll make those comments. So I had a connector meeting, nothing to report. RT was canceled for Indigenous Peoples Day, and at the Sanitation Board District this morning, I left early in order to make it over to Elaine's services. But I do want to talk about a couple of council items, and then I'll come back to that. And the first is, as I'm out walking neighborhoods, generally people in Elk Grove are just very happy with their neighborhoods. They're very happy with the direction of the city. They're happy with a lot of the stuff that's going on. But about the number one complaint that I get from folks has to do with speeding in neighborhoods and their requests for speed bumps. And I was talking with one gentleman who had gone through the whole process to get a speed bump on Dynamic Way, had gotten the petition. This is down next to Camera Park, down a little west of the casino. And anyway, apparently in the city doing its due diligence, went to ask the neighbors who live where the speed bumps would be installed, and they said, no, we don't want them. And that was the end of the process. And so, I would like us to revisit that for this neighbor because that was his only complaint, and I think it was a reasonable one. Dynamic Way, if you've not been down there recently, is a very long, straight stretch of road that fronts what I hope will always be a very active park. And the idea that a kid goes running out into the street to chase a ball or something and gets taken out is a devastating idea. But so important there, but it also got me thinking of how we can maybe be a little more proactive on the front end. And so we just had a general plan amendment tonight that had nothing to do with any particular project, but was with policy updates. And we may want to look at having a policy wherein we do some sort of traffic control measure on long straights of way in front of parks at the time that it's built. That way we don't put it on the shoulders of the neighbors to come back and ask for it at a later date. We actually make the neighborhood safer from the day that it's put in the ground. So just an idea that I had, and I will leave it to staff and to my colleagues to pursue that at some point in the future. Now, with respect to something that I would like some consensus on, I was approached by Oscar Ocon, who will be making a trip down to our sister city, Taco de Concepcion in El Salvador. And he will be bringing some funds from both the Rotary Club of Laguna Sunrise and the original Rotary Club, the Lunch Club, in order to build more of the houses that have been a big project down there. These are $1,500 a unit, so it's dramatically cheaper than what we build houses for up here. But he asked me if I had any funds available. I do have $4,100 left in my discretionary funds, and so I'm willing to push that all in, and that gets about 2.5 houses. And so I was asking if my colleagues would be willing to give consensus to the city manager. It's under his threshold, but certainly he needs direction to bring that up to a nice even number to get a couple more houses out of that.
So the ask is from our own discretionary?
Well, that would be one way to
Okay,
bridge the
or
gap.
just overall.
Or I think Jason could probably cobble together a couple thousand here or there.
Like
If-
4,900 to make it even 10 or something like that?
Well, I was shooting for whatever
For-
6 houses would be. What is
Oh.
that?
9,000.
9,000? So I have 4,100, so another $5,000.
So we can look at some of our leftover funds and
Well, either way, or
whichever.
Only if you want to. Just something that, he showed me pictures. They are still using the garbage truck that we sent down there 10 years ago. And I'm telling you what, this thing is held together by chewing gum, baling wire, and
it's still
God's good
together.
graces, because they can't get the parts down there, but they are still making sure to use it in the community. So anyway, just it's an important thing. El Salvador is an interesting country. So not to get into too much, because I don't want to take too much time on the meeting, but since we're going to get out here early, the president of El Salvador, as you know, converted the currency to Bitcoin and lost about $240 million of the country's treasury. Bad move. Second thing is the mayor of Taco is not of the same political party as the president of El Salvador, and their tax structure works very differently in that the local communities send all their money to the government, and the government, centralized government, determines if they send any of it back to that community. And so, anyway, this is just from one community leader to another community leader. The mayor down there is hoping to provide a couple more houses for some very impoverished folks.
I mean, I'm certainly willing to pitch in for a part of the gap there from either, if not my discretionary, I have some other sources too.
I would support Jason looking
But
at the
whatever
city
is
budget.
easier.
We can make funds available if that's the desire of the council to make up the difference
We have a
between
sister city, so it's not just some random.
the $4,100 from Pat and then the
49
difference.
from, or,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I don't know what my balance would be or whatever, but you can certainly take 15 from it, whatever, 1,000, 1,500. I don't, take it out of whatever I have. I don't know what that is.
We can make it work.
Okay.
Anything else, sir?
Yeah, and then the last thing, now that the business has been concluded, that I just want to add to and echo the comments from Councilmember Spees. Elaine Wright was a truly remarkable woman. She made an indelible impact on this community. She suffered immeasurable heartache and loss during her life, and yet always made it out, wore a smile, and was just about one of the warmest people you could possibly be around. And so she will be missed, and I found myself getting a little teary-eyed as well during the video at her services today, just because she had a life well lived, and she made an impact in the world around her, and we are better off for her having walked this earth. And so I think that's pretty darn cool. We'll miss you, Elaine.
Vice Mayor Sun?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll just pick off where Councilmember Hume left off. You know, I think both he and Councilmember Spieth said it very well. Elaine was just a fantastic woman, just a sweet, caring soul. I too, when you saw the video, just, you know, her smile is recognizable from childhood to when we knew her. So, and I just want to also thank Supervisor Natoli for his words today too, that really, you know, echoed what these two gentlemen just said. So anyway, I just want to rest in peace. So just to report out, I went to for SACOG was Valley Vision. We had a livability summit, and just to reinforce things that my colleagues already know, but this is over the 6-county region. There was, you know, a poll that was done, and, you know, big surprise, top concern for folks is homelessness, 69%. Cost of housing is second closely at 68%. And then tied was environmental threats, you know, flooding, wildfire and such, and crime. So, and then they're interesting, or not interesting, but just something for communities are hurting. You've got a lot of folks feeling, 52% feeling depression and hopelessness, and 81% stress or anxiety. So it's just, you know, something to remind us of as we continue to do our work out in the community. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. I will waive my report and my comments for Ms. Lane Wright. You know, I first met her, gosh, over 20 years ago, and she was one of the best ambassadors for our city. She loved Elk Grove, and you could see that. And I'm sorry I missed her services due to a prior commitment that I couldn't get out of, but she was just such a remarkable, dynamic human being that gave back so much in her service to our great city. And so, you know, having that kind of life well lived is a testament that that is all one could truly hope for, that we leave the world a little better than when we came to this world. And I know that our city is better off because of her service. So tonight, we will adjourn in her memory. May her memory be a blessing to all that knew her. With that, I'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Other one to vote?